Hi, it's Darryl here, answering questions on anything to do with corporate net zero, ESOS compliance, SECR compliance, B Corp, anything of that ilk. And the question we have today, Farah, is...
So today's another net zero question.
Right.
This came through on our chat on the website. So they said, how do you know if a net zero project will work?
How do you know if a net zero project will work? Okay, the short answer is you're not going to know. I've seen many projects start, and a lot of them they peter out. They don't stop. There's nothing that the project will sort of, nobody says, all right, we're not going to bother. But priorities change within companies, and if I've seen 50 companies in the past sort of 6 months start net zero projects, probably around about 15 or 20 of those haven't stopped. They just get sidelined, and people, get on with their lives and get on with their jobs. Maybe the priorities shift within the teams, and it means that the project's not finished off. Now, that is a reason for project failure. But it might be temporary. They might come back to it later. In terms of where a project goes wrong, it's by people not really understanding. The biggest thing, I tell you, by a long shot, is the scope, which if you look at SBT, they call it the boundary. God, my writing's terrible today. The boundary of what's in and out. So where some projects absolutely genuinely fail, none of ours, but the other ones that I've looked at that aren't ours, is by not including, for example, here's one, not including business travel. So they don't put that inside. This is kind of the footprint calculation here. They don't consider that, or they don't consider, what's the other big one I've seen? So one of the projects I saw didn't consider supply chain. It's a huge thing. I just put SC there for supply chain. And it needs to be in for a footprint calculation. That's one of the biggest things I see where they go wrong. The other big one that really, again, I've seen the majority, I would say, of people go wrong if they do it themselves, is by saying our footprint is such and such without defining the framework that the footprint applies to. So if you say our footprint is 2,000 tons, well, great, whoop-de-doop-de. But what does that include? What does that exclude? Is it calculated in a sort of rigorous way? And it's very easy to say, look, we've looked at our electricity and gas and it's 2,000 tons. Well, that's not enough. You need to consider all 15 of the scopes. The document here, or is it this one here? The corporate value chain scope 3 lists all the things that should be in your footprint. And if people go around saying our footprint is X, Y, Z without including those 15, it's slightly misleading. So I'd call that a failure as well. Apart from that, it has to be said, anybody doing any net zero project is doing the right thing. So, I applaud everybody who even starts down this road. But say, number one, be careful that what is in scope, what is out of scope. That's a really big problem. And second, if you're going to be spouting off and saying our footprint is X, Y, Z, just make sure you've covered all of the 15, or if not, qualify it saying our footprint is this, but we still need to consider this, this, and this. There you go. How was that?
Yeah, that was great.
There you go.